Hello, how are you this afternoon? I'm so happy it's time for our daily visit, and I'm hoping your holidays are moving right along. Oh my stars, I had to go out. I told you this yesterday. I had to go out and check the mail. I think it was after we did the video. And it didn't look like the snow was that bad. It was like 2-3 inches on the railings and on the porch. And so I got my little snow shovel out there and I shoveled a little bit of the porchway to the steps, and I shoveled the steps, and then I stepped off the steps into about, I don't know, 14 to 16 inches of snow. So, good Lord, just going down to the mailbox and back was awful. I came back panting as every step was through the deep snow. That was horrible. I don't want to do that again. But it's beautiful and it's white, so I don't think it's going to get warm enough to melt this stuff in the next week or so. So there's a good chance we probably will have a white Christmas after all. But what a wonderful thing to have it all snowy outside. If you're a New Englander, if you're in any of those southern states, then, well, bless your hearts as you enjoy your warm weather. And as someone once sent me a picture of a snowman made out of sand, ain't the same. But I'm not going out and making any snowmen either, I'll tell you that. I haven't gone to get the mail yet today because I'm kind of, the driveway did get plowed, but I still have to plod through to the driveway, which is not a horrible long way unless you are going up and down into 14 to 16 inches of snow. My sister told me when she went out to feed her horses that the snow was up to the bottom of her hips. Picture that. On the other hand, my car was out behind my cottage, and the wind blew so hard that it blew the snow clean off of it. So I have very little snow on the car. It's not going anywhere, but if and when I do have to go somewhere, well, let's see. I can't get out of the driveway because that part wasn't plowed, but, well, my brother-in-law said he's going to try to get the big tractor out in the morning and plow. I've got Peapod coming to bring groceries, so that's kind of exciting. And not that I need it a lot, but I just, it's that milk and eggs kind of thing going on. Speaking of milk, I made myself a very special treat to drink today. I'm sure you probably like hot chocolate. Well, if you want to have a different kind of hot chocolate, you take 1 cup of milk. So for each person, you take 6 to 8 ounce cup or glass of milk and put it in a pan and put in the milk, put the heat on, not too hot, medium, high, and you start to get it hot. As it gets hot, you turn it down a little bit, and you just stir in Nutella to taste. Oh, heavenly. Heavenly. Isn't that wonderful? Got some Nutella. Got milk. Don't have milk? I made mine with soy milk because that's generally what I drink. You can also use, which I use frequently, evaporated milk. And if I were using evaporated milk to make hot chocolate, I would not water it down. To be watered down at all, maybe I'd water it down by, by adding for a half a cup, I'd add 50% water, tops, because it is so delicious. So Nutella hot chocolate today, and you put some little mini marshmallows. I have vegan marshmallows, even though I'm a vegetarian, not a vegan, but I've got little vegan marshmallows to put on it, which were in the freezer, and I didn't want to cool off my hot chocolate, so cheers. And I've got it in my little Christmas cup, as you notice. You know, these things are small, but they make everything so special. It's the little things that count. Yeah, I hope you've got some little things that count, and I hope that some of the ideas that I give you, you can add to what you have to make things special. You remember how yesterday we talked about, being a kid? And very often I find things that, it's good to have a kid around to do a project. But if you don't have a kid around, you can do the project anyway. And one of those I found in this great little book. This is old. I think I've showed it before. I've shown it before, and it's called Christmas Joys. Let me see when this was made, because it feels like I've had this forever. Let's see. Well, I'll be darned. It was first printed in 1945. Oh, no. That's when the author was born. I take that back. 1994. Almost 30 years ago. So some things are different because it'll talk about something about the telephone, and we have cell phones now, so everything is totally different. Anyway, this is one of the ideas from this little book called Christmas Joys. It says, introduce a child to the wonders of snowflakes. Chill a dark sheet of construction paper and then examine the flakes with a magnifying glass. There's moisture in everything. There's moisture in things you don't think about having moisture in it. And between the freezer and the paper, there is moisture. So when you put the paper in the freezer, and I have done this, and it is fascinating. So after a while, it makes snowflakes. And you bring it out, and you look at them, and snowflakes are just so amazing. And not tomorrow, because tomorrow is Saturday. I don't know if I'm going to do tomorrow or not. Sometimes I like to take the weekend off. Sometimes I start to feel a little lonely, and I say, you know what? I'm going to do a video and see if any of my video buddies are going to come and join me. So the next video I do, whether it's tomorrow or whether it's Monday, I am going to be showing you how to make the paper snowflakes. Now, a lot of people know how to make paper snowflakes, but usually it's so hard to fold it right. A trick is in the folding. So I think Monday or tomorrow, who knows, we will make some real paper snowflakes, and you put them in the window. And people that see your snowflakes in the window are always touched by it. Really, it's something that is worth trying. So what is today on the National Day calendar? Well, first of all, it is Ugly Christmas Sweater Day. Well, I couldn't do an ugly Christmas sweater because I don't think I have one. Because I like all my Christmas sweaters. If I didn't like it, I wouldn't have had it. So this one, if you can read it, says, wish. And what's better than a Christmas wish? So it's also answer the phone like Buddy the Elf Day. I don't know what that is. I've seen the movie, Elf. As a matter of fact, I've got a Christmas quiz of questions from the movie Elf. But as many times as I've seen it, I could only answer a couple of questions. So I think I'm going to have to watch it again. But so I don't know. I guess I'll have to listen for how Buddy the elf answers the phone. But that's one of those things I was talking about where a lot of people don't even have landlines. And to be perfectly honest, my phone doesn't ring all that much. You know, I communicate online or I text or something like that. And I suppose a telemarketer might be impressed if you answered the phone. However, Buddy the elf or your own makeup elf. You know, how about like, ho 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 from the North Pole. It's worth a shot, I suppose. But if you know what Buddy the elf answers the phone like, that is an idea on how to answer the phone like an elf when you don't know who's on the other end, or you do. That's kind of cute. I read something, or I heard it, actually on Joyce Meyer this morning during my prayer time. She was talking about the mental stress, not only of the holidays, but that we all are going through, and the holidays on top of it. And one of the things she said that was, it really is true. I don't know if you remember back when I did my my video series about how I spent my corona confinement making it through metaphysics. If you don't, it's on YouTube. You can go get it there and get the whole series. I think there were 90 videos, and who knows how many of this series we'll have, because I'll keep it going, I think. I'm not sure. We'll see what Spirit has to guide me with. But when I did that, I talked about the importance of having a routine, that you follow a routine every day. If you are in shutdown or you go into shutdown, because these numbers are astounding with the COVID virus spike. It's just astounding. And when I see the number of people that are out there not wearing masks, not social distancing, not making like there's a darn thing going on, it just blows my mind. It's just a lack of common sense, you know. It just makes crazy thoughts. That's like somebody. I think Trevor Noah said on TV the other day. He said people who won't wear masks and try to avoid it, it's like saying you go to the no pee end of the pool. Somebody pees in that pool, everybody gonna get it. But in pools, there's usually chlorine that gets rid of any bacteria and bad stuff. We don't have that, so we wear our masks. We do. But let's talk about routines at home. And the routines are, just because you're home doesn't mean you don't or shouldn't get dressed every day. Oh, wait. Every once in a while, you got to have a jammy day. For sure. Maybe even one a week. But that has to be an actual plan, not a way of life while you are in shutdown, okay? So you get dressed every day and you make your bed every day. Those are two parts of a routine. Another part of a routine is to eat well as you can, healthy and on time, and that's really important. And then we have a balance. We have a balance of busy and resting and renewing. Because a lot of times people say to me, like, oh, I didn't hear back from you. You know, it's not like we had a plan. If I say I'm calling you back, I'm calling you back. But they say, like, oh, I told my Florida family that about the snow coming, you know, keep praying with us that we don't lose our power and stuff. And then they didn't hear from me for a couple of days. They did hear from me because I always send pictures. Sometimes I send them pictures of food I've made. I I don't put it on the internet. You don't get to see. I don't put out there. Ooh, I made potatoes. I made a baked potato. Whoop-de-doo. No, but I will send them pictures of something I made or a memory or something. So they knew I was okay, but there was no report about how much snow and stuff like that. Did we lose our power? So, you know, I have no idea why I said that. I lose my train of thought sometimes. Think this wig's too tight. Anyway, we have to keep a routine. Oh, that was the busy thing. And I told her, see, it came back. It's like a train. You get off track, you wait 5 minutes, and it comes back into the station. Yeah. I told her I'm sorry, I said I'm really busy. And how can one person in their own home, all by themselves, not making much of a mess, how can you be that busy? Well, you can do 2 videos a day and show crafts and do crafts and have things to study and to highlight and underscore and research and do that kind of thing. And next thing you know, it's the end of the day. And let us not forget what I taught you yesterday about the importance of taking a nap. So balance, if you are out of balance, I really encourage you during this time where because of the stress alone, we're not acting normal, if we even know what that is anymore, but we're not acting normal, like in a common everyday thing. So what are we going to do? You're going to get dressed every day. You're going to make sure your bed's made every day. Make sure your dishes are done in the sink every day. Stay general picked up. You don't have to become a clean freak, and scrub everything down every day and everything, but just keep it normal. And then you want to take time to rest. This is a very important thing about the resting part. When you're resting, you want to pay attention to what you are putting into your mind. You also want to be careful of what your mind gets to churning on. Number one, what you are putting into your mind. You realize when there's not a lot going on and you put the TV on, there's not as much with all these channels. Cable, Prime, Hulu. Sometimes you just can't find anything good to watch. So if that runs out, then you go, oh, what am I going to do now? You watch something crappy. And then that gets into your head and it puts you in a bad mood. Well, don't forget, remember what we talked about yesterday? Get a good Christmas book. If you can't get one, if you don't have one, you can't go to the store, you can order one from Amazon or you can download one from Audible. So you can actually, Christmas mysteries are fun. Let me think for a second. What is the name? I can't think of the name of a woman. There's this woman and she puts out a Christmas novel every year. And I'm embarrassed that I can't think of her name. Mary Higgins Clark. Thank you very much, mind. Yeah, she puts out Christmas mysteries. And they're kind of fun. So there's so many things you want to be very careful what you put in. And you have to be careful if you watch what is going on, what's churning. It's very easy to, if you're feeling sad or depressed, crying, getting into a negative thought loop, and it goes around and getting into a poor me loop. Oh, no, this is horrible. Oh, I'm sick of this virus. It's going to kill us all. Stop, right there, stop. And think of something good. And you can even go back to the old standard silly movies and things that you like. Snow Dogs always makes me laugh. Cool Runnings always makes me laugh. Overboard is always worth it. And there are those good Christmas movies. There's another one. If you have, I think I told you about it yesterday. If you have Prime, it's called Wishin' and Hopin'. Now, I actually bought it. I bought it, somewhere in the cloud is my my book on, my video book on Wishin' and Hopin' by Wally Lamb. Very, very good. A lot of fun. So keep your mind from going in the bad place. Now, last night I watched that show on television. It's called Mom. And I really like it because it's I don't agree 100% with their values. But the thing is, it is a group of women who are in recovery. But as I watched it, they really do underscore our human nature, our very human nature. And in one case, there's a couple, and the husband is handicapped, and he wanted to go skiing because they do have like special chairs that you ski in if you're handicapped. So he wanted to do that because before he got handicapped, he used to ski all the time. Well, the nerves of it ate her up, and she just couldn't find peace. Now, in the end, he came back and everything was fine, but boy, have you had those times? You worry. I mean, I worry about my kids. They're all, 50-50, good thing, bad thing. They're all out there working. Thank you, God. They have jobs and they can go to those jobs until and unless they impose a bigger shutdown. But I do worry about them. And my daughter works in a grocery store, and I'm always saying to her, make sure you got your mask on. Don't get too close to the people. She'll say she's going to a meeting. Make sure you got your mask on. They wanted to go walk around and look at Christmas lights the other night. Make sure you got your mask on. I'm like, it's like, and that's when you really, really, really have to practice putting it in God's hands. And I don't know if I shared with you the prayer, I place my life and all my family lovingly in the hands of the Father with a childlike trust, knowing God's will for us is good and only good. I now release and let go and let God's will be done. Now you can say, for my family's safety, you can say for my health, you can say for my finances, you can say for someone else who's sick or in trouble or sad or depressed or in jail or in the hospital. So it's really good to have that affirmative prayer to put out there. God's will for us is good and only good. We may have a pandemic going on, but we also have a brain and the intelligence to follow science in how to cope with it and keep ourselves as safe as possible. Oh my goodness, the time is a-running on me. I wanted to share a little tradition thing. Every day I kind of try to share some kind of something that's kind of a tradition. And I want to, everybody always makes fun of fruitcake, okay? We have a recipe for fruitcake that every once in a while we drag it out and make it. And my sister's usually the one that will be committed to the huge amount of work and expense that goes into it. But the recipe is so weird. I will see if I can find it, but I don't know if I can. It's called a magic fruitcake, and this comes from the 1960s. And it was one of those things that was in a woman's magazine. And what you do is you bake a spice cake, and after it's baked, you crumble it all up in a big bowl. And then you put in a whole bunch of candied cherries and citron or whatever they call it, and what else? Raisins and nuts, pecans, and spices. So you put all that in a bowl, and then you put in, this is true, you get frosting mix. And you make the frosting mix, and you put the frosting mix in with this crumbled up cake and stuff, and you mix it and mix it and mix it around with your hands, and then you pack it into foil lined little loaf pans or whatever pans you're going to use. If sometimes they don't have to be foil lined if they're ones that you're going to give away as a gift, and you pack it right into the actual little dish. You might want to butter it, or you might want to foil line it so it comes out real easy. And then you just let it sit for like a month. And a lot of times when my mom would get ready to give them away a day or two early, she'd carefully open the foil and she'd pour on some brandy, and then she'd close it back up, and then we'd send them out in the mail. So it was a very compacted. I want to tell you something. That thing was good. It kind of wound up looking like, you know, those, it was looking like more than a fruitcake because it didn't look so cakey. It looked kind of like a stained glass window thing. It was really good, but that was one of my mom's holiday traditions that my sister continues. And so I guess the last thing I'm going to do, I was supposed to do a quiz, but I don't have time because it takes a few minutes. So what I'm going to do instead is I do my monkey update, show you where I'm at. As you know, we have Miss Sunshine. Hello, everybody. Oh, Merry Christmas. This is Miss Sunshine. Maybe that's how I could answer the phone. You could at least answer the phone Merry Christmas, could you not? Of course you could. All right, well, we made progress since yesterday. We got a tail, and we got an arm, and we've got the beginning of the mouth. So I want to show you how I stuffed it. I sewed it all along here from one end of the stitching to the other, right here. Then I stuffed it with the fiber fill. And now I wanted to show you how I pin it down, because if you decide that you want to try one of these, I don't want you to feel like, oh my God, I don't know how to do this. So I just push in on the filling and fold over the top, folding down most of the brown. And then I just take a pin, and you have to make sure you get through all the layers, stick it in, and bring it up. There we go. See that? And I do that 3 or 4 times at the corner of the mouth. I make sure that I tuck in the little edges that were sticking out. There we go. See how it's coming together? Well, you see it looks bumpy here. It doesn't look like that after you're done stitching it, because you're going to take care when you do your stitching. And there is the last part. This is not going to be what I started. You know, our minds just flow with divine ideas. And as I was working on this, I got a, oh yes moment. So, since I'm not going to be, I don't know if I'm going to be doing this tomorrow or not, but this is going to be a very special monkey. And it's going to be someone you know or know of. So, gonna sew that part. You notice I took down the belly. All I did to get rid of the belly was roll it like this. And because who it's going to be doesn't have a belly like that. Also wanted to show you, well, the ears are not turned out yet, but these are going to look a lot smaller. Let's see, I'm just on time now. Let me just flip this inside out. Okay. So when you sew the ear, you leave a little opening so you can turn it inside out and it gets a lot smaller when you turn it. Again, don't get hung up on perfect, okay? If everything was all that perfect, we would have no variety. And what is variety? It's the spice of life. Here we go. So did you see that turn into an ear? Now, this is where the opening is. And so after I turn it inside out, I stitch the opening shut, and then I sew it in first and sew it onto the monkey's head. Now, I sew it on according to where I want it. Some monkeys have low ears like this, and other monkeys have their ears a little higher. Now, you don't want to have them too high because then it will look like a bear, not a monkey. So whether you want to make it lower or higher is up to you. And every monkey or whatever you make is going to be completely different because just like us, they're all unique. I hope you had fun today. It was a good visit for me. Go make yourself some Nutella Hot Chocolate and settle in and watch one of the amazing versions of A Christmas Carol. That's my favorite. I think I've got all of them. Well, no, most of them. But heads up, if you have Hulu made a very spooky version of Christmas Carol, and they're playing it now. So I suggest that you think about watching that one. Okay? Meantime, have a great day. I'll see you next time. Tomorrow, Monday, we'll see. Thanks so much for being with me. Hope you have a great day. Bye-bye.